I am literally the only foreigner there.
Hi, welcome to the Black Experience Japan's Melanated Files. The purpose of this series is to highlight the black people living in Japan. Who are they?
My name's Gregory Bay. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I've only been here a little less than a year. I got here in March, so next March will be my first year, and I'm looking forward to another year here. The reason why I came, it started back when I was a kid, and I got into anime. Back then we called it Japanimation. One of my best friends, he asked me to watch this show called Pokemon, and it had all these monsters, and he made it sound really cool, and I watched it. I was like, okay, this is kind of kiddie and boring. So he showed me Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and I was hooked. So I'm a major Dragon Ball Z fan. And after that, I started watching more and more anime and reading manga. And eventually I stumbled on a manga called Vagabond. And it's about Miyamoto Musashi. And then I found out Miyamoto Musashi was actually a real samurai. And then I started learning more and more about Japan through different things that I found in manga and anime. And so I got more into the culture itself. And the more I saw, the more interested I became. And eventually I tried everything to get over here. I joined the military for like 5 years. And so I was in the Navy for 5 years. And the entire 5 years, we never went to Japan. And then as soon as I got out of the military, they went to Japan. And now I'm pretty sure the ship that I was on is stationed in Japan. But then I tried applying at different like English teaching jobs and everything. And eventually I just forgot about it, and I was just gonna buy my own ticket here. And eventually I actually got a job teaching English here. So that's what I do now. I teach English to nursery school, kindergarten, elementary, and junior high school students. Right now I live in Kuzumaki. It's up in Iwate Prefecture, and it is way, way, way up north, and it's hidden away in the mountains. It's got a population of 6,000 people. So very, very, very small town. It's mostly elderly people and kids, but yeah, just a really small town in the mountains. And it's really nice. I actually enjoy it. Despite being from Chicago, from a bigger city, it's actually nice living in kind of the middle of nowhere. So, like most people that have their first experience in Japan, when I first got here, people stared, of course, especially in Kuzumaki because it's only 6,000 people. And I am literally the only foreigner there. So when I first got there, everyone was like, oh, this. So eventually, I would just like smile and, nod, and people would smile and nod back because, they're friendly. And I finally got to the house that I'm living in now. And it's actually like a house. It's like 2 bedrooms and like a kitchen and a living room and all that. And it's really, really cheap. It's only like maybe 150 American. Yeah, so that's nice. But you get what you pay for, because I also have to worry about my pipes freezing a lot in the winter. My bathroom, the toilet does not have plumbing. It is basically an indoor outhouse. So again, $150, you get what you paid for. But you get used to it. I had to buy my own stove and refrigerator and stuff like that, adult stuff. But I really enjoy the house that I live in. It's very comfortable, and it supplies me with everything I need, and the town itself is nice. It is hard to shop for things because it's a small town and it's all Japanese, so it's going to have basically Japanese groceries. So if you want bacon or ground beef, you're gonna have to go someplace else for that, or like have it shipped to you using like Cope, or one website that someone gave me, the Meat Guy. You can ship different meat products from like Australia and stuff, like bacon and alligator meat and kangaroo meat if you want it. The thing I like the most about Japan is it's very peaceful, it's very nice. You know, you get on the train and it's clean, it's quiet, people aren't on their phone yelling into it, you know. For the most part, especially where I live, people, you know, say hi when they walk past you. If people stare, it's not because, you know, they think you're weird. It's more like you're a unicorn to them, basically, you know. And yeah, I just like how nice it is. I love the food. And me coming from like a culinary background, I love trying all the different Japanese dishes and trying to recreate them and everything like that. I like ramen, of course, preferably tonkatsu ramen, sakura niku, and which is horse meat, raw horse meat, by the way. So if you want to try raw horse meat, sakura niku. And then the thing that I probably eat the most is gyudon, cow tongue, because I love cow tongue. The thing that I like the least about Japan, again, especially from where I am, it's hard to get things that you're used to getting. You know, you're used to going to the store and just buying a pack of bacon. And no, you can't do that. You're used to, and you know, I already said that I love watching anime. A lot of the shows that I want to see don't come either subtitled or dubbed. Netflix is completely different over here. So a lot of the shows that I used to watch that were anime or Japanese shows, subtitles are gone. Yeah, it's just some things are slightly inconvenient. There isn't much that I don't like about Japan, honestly. I actually really do enjoy being here. It's funny being a black man in Japan. Like, you get asked, do you like basketball a lot? You know, and especially with me being bald, they're like, oh, Michael Jordan? And it's like, oh, I'm from Chicago. Oh, Chicago Bulls. Yeah, Chicago Bulls. So you get the basketball, you know, thing a lot, football, you know, black people sports. And I can kind of understand it, you know, most of their experience with black people comes from TV, and most of TV that is shown is us doing sports or us doing like gang stuff, I guess. But on the plus side of that, it also makes them very curious about you and open to trying to understand you and where you come from. So of course I get the do you like basketball thing, but then the next question is, okay, what sports do you like then? Because I don't like basketball. So it's like, okay, well, what sports do you like? What's Chicago like? Oh, it's winter. Does Chicago get cold in the winter? And then I just laugh at them and tell them, oh, it's colder than here. But yeah, so being black in Japan is interesting, but fun. And, you know, I think people's interest in you is the most unique experience because you're so different, because you are that unicorn. They want to learn more about you. And sure, sometimes they get a little touchy. Like, you know, people will, like when I first got here, I had a full beard, so they'd want to touch it and like, oh, full, fluffy, you know, it's all coming from a place of, you know, just wanting to learn more about you, which I don't mind. A lot of funny things have happened. Like when I first got the job to teach, they told us ahead of time, just so you know, kids, if once they start liking you, they'll get comfortable. They might, you know, up your butt kind of thing, and that happens a lot, especially with like nursery school kids, and honestly sometimes with junior high kids for some reason. Like they'll like try to touch your butt a lot, maybe. If you have long hair or like a full beard, they'll want to touch it because it's all curly and soft. They might try to wrestle you or something if you're big. And 9 times out of 10, you will be big, given, you know, the average size here. Best life advice, I guess it would just be, try to do, what makes you happy. Don't try to do necessarily what your parents or, significant others sometimes or your friends want you to do. When I first wanted to do this and move out here, I did get some pushback, why do you want to go way out there? No, you're going to be by yourself and, you won't have anyone to, look after you and you won't know the language. And, it was a lot of doubts put on me by different people. But, sometimes you just have to do your own thing and put yourself in, those awkward situations. You never know what that could do. So, yeah, it was definitely, don't always listen to everyone, take their advice for what it is, but also remember that you want to do what helps you grow. Basically, I would just double down on the advice that was given to me, do your own thing, make yourself uncomfortable, put yourself through some pain sometimes, Failures aren't failures if you learn from them. So get out there, travel more. And not just like travel with like your friends on like a carnival cruise to the Bahamas or anything like that. Actually get out there, try to experience a culture. And when you travel with an open mind. Because if you travel and your mind's not open, you're not really traveling. Your body's in a new place, but your mind's still back home with, your hang-ups and, your culture. And you won't be open to the differences between their cultures and yours. You're going to criticize their culture instead of trying to learn where what they're doing comes from. Favorite anime, Dragon Ball Z, easy. It's the one that started me, it's the one that I've stuck with. I follow YouTube channel Team 4-Star. They have Dragon Ball Z Abridged, so that keeps it fresh and funny. And I can't wait to go see the Dragon Ball movie. I haven't seen it yet. Dragon Ball Super Broly, I'm gonna go see it while I'm in Tokyo because Kuzumaki doesn't have a movie theater, it doesn't have a shopping mall. I have to drive an hour and a half to get to any of that. I think both rural and city have pluses and minuses. I enjoy the quiet, I enjoy the nature. I love driving through Iwate and through Kuzumaki because it's all mountain ranges and I actually got to climb Mount Iwate recently, and that was amazing. But, city, you have convenience. You have shopping malls and fast food. Probably get delivery here because there's no delivery where I'm at. So I'm either cooking or buying food to cook. So yeah, definitely a lot of convenience here in Tokyo. And it's way warmer, but in a lot of ways, up in the mountains, it's way more beautiful. Very quiet. Gotta worry about bears though. Every now and again, we get a bear warning. Kids, I love the kids. The kids are, they're good kids. They're very sweet. Whenever they see me, whenever I'm just walking through the town or I'm shopping for groceries, they're like, oh, Gregory Sensei, and they run up and they give me a hug. I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? Or if it's an older kid, they're like, oh, Gregory Sensei, buy me these chips. And I'm like, no. And then whenever it's my day to go see my students, because out of all the teachers in the Morioka branch, I actually have the most schools. Like the average is about 7 schools. I have 14 schools. So I have about 10 or 11 schools I go to during the week. And so every Monday I switch out my nursery schools. So every time I show up, it's like a big thing that I'm there. So all the kids are just like, oh, Gregory Sensei's here, Gregory Sensei. Ah! And it's a great feeling to see them so happy to see me. And I'm happy to see them. So yeah, definitely the kids. So dating in Japan, it can be kind of hit and miss. Suggestions I would give right off the bat, learn Japanese. One, it helps with conversation and you want to be able to talk to them. And secondly, it shows an interest in their culture, which is also, flattering that you take the time to learn how to speak to them in their native tongue. Because I've been on dates where, you've got your phone out with a translation app and they've got their phone out with a translation app. And it works for a bit, but you want to be able to like look at the person and talk to them. So definitely get your Japanese up. One tip that has benefited me, learn how to cook if you don't already know how to cook. According to most of the other teachers that I talked to when I first told them that I can cook and showed them some of the food that I make, they're like, wow, this is really impressive. A lot of Japanese men don't know how to cook. They kind of expect the woman to do the cooking. So if you know how to cook and you're willing to cook for them, that's a big, you know, point for you. I have gotten more than one date just for the fact that I know how to cook. Don't be afraid of them. You know, if they're interested, you can tell they're interested. They'll look at you. They might blush a little. They might smile, you know, and just, you know, say hi. Not so many in rural areas. Most of the time, like in rural areas, lots of old people, so no dates there. A lot of the younger people tend to leave to go to bigger cities with more opportunities. So that cuts them out. And from at least where I'm at, a lot of them are already married. A lot of them are already dating or married since I've gotten there. So you have a lot better options in bigger cities. Be open-minded. You will get stared at. It's not from a, you know, necessarily an angry or like racist thing. It's mostly just, oh wow, there's someone here and they're completely different than what I'm used to seeing in my neighborhood. So, you know, they'll stare, they might point, they might even like giggle a little bit. Especially if they're like teenagers, they'll definitely giggle. But, you know, smile, nod. Sometimes they'll smile back, sometimes they'll avert their eyes. But, you know, just try and stay positive and enjoy the fact that you're someplace new and you're learning something new and experiencing something that a lot of people don't. A lot of people, you know, you ask them, it's like, have you ever been? No, I've never left my town. I've never left this block. You know, and sometimes they're lesser for it. It can be a regret. So get out there, try and, you know, advance yourself through, you know, picking up on other cultures. And you never know, you might find something new about yourself in, you know, a culture that you didn't know about yourself. They can find me on Instagram, Gregory Bay, B-E-Y, by the way. And on Facebook if they want. Hit me up for any questions. If you just want to talk about anime and video games. I'm a big old nerd, so video games, anime, comic books, I'm all about it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see weekly videos about the Black experience in Japan, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you know someone that would like to be featured, or if you yourself would like to be featured, send us a message on our Facebook page at The Black Experience Japan, or send us a tweet on Twitter at TheBlackXJP. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.